So the next speaker for the discussion forum is Engineer Sunanda Fernando, who is representing the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. Let me take a moment to give a brief introduction about Engineer Sunanda Fernando. He is currently working as a director at the Sri Lanka Standards Institution. He graduated from the Mechanical Engineering of University of Moratuwa, and he joined the SLSI in year 1997 as a standard engineer. Having MBA from Postgraduate Institute of Management, University of Sri Jagadhanapura, he qualified as a lead auditor for ISO 9000 Quality Management System, lead auditor for ISO 14000 Environment Management System, and ISO 50000 for Energy Management Systems. He is also an associate member of Institute of Engineers in Sri Lanka. I would like to invite Engineer Sunanda Fernando on stage to do your presentation.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So, there is a small correction. I am representing Sri Lanka Standard Institution. I am the Director Engineering in Sri Lanka Standard Institution. So, I would like to present you some information regarding the construction and also the related national standards that have been prepared by the Sri Lanka Standard Institution and also applied in the construction industry. So if I go to the standard formulation process of Sri Lanka Standard Institution, so the standards are established by a process of consultation with consumers, manufacturers, technology scientists, and all other related stakeholders through committees. So we have different kind of committees appointed to different areas of the field, and through these committees the standards are developed. In addition to this national standards formulation, we involve with the formulation of regional standards. We have some regional standards, SASO standards. We are coming under the SASO region. And also we participate for the technical committees of international standards like ISO, IEC, Codex. So those are coming under the international standards. And the formulation project stages, if you take this, how these standards are formulated, different stages, like first we get the proposal, acceptance and allocation of the project, and then the planning, how to start the project, and committee stage. We have different committees like sectoral committees and working groups, and also the circulation. Circulation means the public circulation to get the public feedback or public comments to the draft standards. And then again the final committee approval after getting the public comments that will be discussed again in the committees. And also then we have the council authorization of the standards, and finally for printing or giving the soft copies of the standards. And if you take the committee stage, so in the committee stage the basic draft is circulated to the members of the committees, maybe sectoral or the working groups, and they will discuss within their committee on the basic draft. The decision to approve the working draft shall be taken on the basis of consensus. The entire process is depending on the consensus reached. So once it is approved in the basic committee, so it goes for the public circulation as a draft standard. And during the public circulation, public consultation, we advertise in 3 languages, in 3 newspapers, Dinamina, Daily News and Tinakaran. And we give a 2 months period to public to comment on the draft standards. And the copy of the standards are available, and also available on request, the hard copies, and also available on our website, the public comments draft standards. And the comments received during this period will be considered by the committee, the relevant committee. And the review of comments, the committees, the sectoral committee or the working group, review all comments received during the public comment stage. All comments discussed in the committees, and if these comments are acceptable, so those are incorporated to the standards, and the other comments will be considered for the later revisions. And the decisions to approve the working draft shall be taken on the basis of, again, the consensus principle. All development processes based on the consensus principle. In the approval stage, the draft approved by sectoral committee is submitted for the authorization of the Council of Sri Lanka Standard Institution. So they authorize the standard, but the technical approval is given by the sectoral committees appointed to different areas of the sector. After the Council authorization, so it becomes national standards. And we allocate unique number and also the year of publication for those standards. So the number and the year of publications is very much important when you refer the standard. Not only the number, the year of publication also important, because when the standards are revised, the year of publication also change. In the formulation of national standards, the policy of Sri Lanka standard is to be in line with the international standards. We always look for international standards. So if there are international standards, we see whether we can directly adopt these standards. That is the basic policy of national standard formulation. So if those standards are acceptable to our situation, we directly adopt international standards. And if it is not suitable to our conditions due to maybe weather or any kind of local situations, then we have to do some modification, or we have to prepare separate standard for the local situation. So after getting the approval from the Council of SLSI, standards are published. So when we publish the standards, all these standards are the voluntary standards. So unless these standards are made mandatory by some regulatory bodies, because Sri Lanka Standard Institution is not a regulatory body, we can't make standards compulsory. Some regulatory bodies, depending on the requirements and also the requests, they consider for the make mandatory the standards. So there are some standards already made mandatory by different authorities. So in this case, especially the Consumer Affairs Authority, so they do SLS mark compulsory. That means for those products, the SLS mark is compulsory. They have to have the SLS mark in the products, some identified products. And Import and Export Control Department, and also in some area the Ministry of Energy also, they have imposed some restriction on the import. So restriction means the inspection of imports during the moment of importing. So those are coming under the import inspection. So there are basically two methods of controlling SLS mark and also the import inspection, especially for the imported products. And if you take the construction industry and also the related area, so I have listed few important standards which have been made mandatory by authority. If you take cement, there are 4 types: blended hydraulic, the coming under SLS 1247 standards, and masonry, which is not really available in the market now, and the ordinary Portland cement, SLS 107 is the standard number, and Portland limestone, SLS 1253. So that is the standard number. So these cements, for these cement types, the SLS mark is compulsory. Local products and also imported products. Without SLS mark, these products cannot be made available in the market. And if you take the steel related products, so there are few standards have been made mandatory. Plain steel bars, that is coming under SLS 26, used for the reinforcement. And the main reinforcement steel is the rib steel bars, that is coming under SLS 375, the standard number. That is the main product. Other than that, round bars coming under SLS 949 part 1, and square bars, again hexagonal bars, and steel flats. And other than that, sections coming under U sections, L sections, and T sections. SLS number is 907 part 3, 4, and 5 respectively for those channels. And if you take the construction related electrical products, so PVC insulated non-armored cable for copper conductors for electric power, lighting and internal wiring, so that is coming under SLS 733, the PVC cables, insulated cables. And for flexible cords, SLS 1504 is the standard that is generally used in the flexible cords. And for bulbs, electric bulbs, the tungsten filament, SLS number is 984, that is also coming under import SLS mark compulsory product. And the lamp holders, household electric lamp holders, also coming under this scheme, SLS 138. And rewirable and non-rewirable 13 amp fuse plugs coming under SLS 734 part 1, and also switch and unswitch socket outlets coming under 734 part 2, and the part 3 for the adapters. So those also coming under compulsory SLS mark products. And cable reels used in the extension also coming under SLS 1532, and the switches, the common product used in the construction industry, electric switches coming under SLS 1000. And other than that, there are a few other products, PVC pipes and PVC fittings coming under SLS 147 and SLS 659, and also clay roofing tiles. These are also coming under the SLS mark compulsory products. So when it comes to import inspection compulsory construction and related products, all those I discuss under SLS mark compulsory products are coming under again the import inspection. Other than that, there are few other products also come in, like conduits for electrical insulation coming under SLS 993, and PVC pipes fittings for waste discharge application, soil and waste discharge application also coming under import inspection, SLS 1325, and cable trunking and cement concrete floor and wall tiles also coming under import inspection. And asbestos sheets, SLS 9 is the standard. And again the ceramic tile also coming under import inspection, compulsory import inspection. The relevant standard is SLS 1181. And other than that, MCB and RCBO also come in under import inspection, so which are tested when coming to the country. And CFL, SLS 1231 is the standard. And electric fans and regulators also come in under import inspection, SLS 814. And GI pipes and sockets also inspected during the import inspection scheme, compulsory items, SLS 829. So those are the products coming under import inspection other than SLS mark products. All SLS mark products are coming under import inspection also, and there are some additional products also which we discussed today. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any, I'm not sure whether this subject is really related to this forum. Anyway, that regarding the construction industry, I think that is important to know about the standards, and also so what are the products coming under the compulsory scheme, and also import restriction, import inspection, when you really apply these things in your field. If you have any questions, please.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Engineer Sunanda, for your presentation and all schedule. So, as a remark, there's some update I should give. In the cement industry, we have new cement standards SLS 1697, composite cement.
Yeah.
I think we should include that one, and better to inform the cement.
Exactly correct.
Thank you.
So that is also we can say not in legally, but that is also covered under SLS mark compulsory. But the legal amendments they have to do for the relevant documents, that is not yet published. But anyway, all the products manufactured in Sri Lanka and also coming to the country, inspected, and they have to comply to the standard. So that is actually covered. But the regulation still they have not included the Consumer Affairs Authority that particular type of cement, right? Composite cements. Anyway, it is controlled. Yeah. So we have basically 5 types of cements, including the masonry cement. The latest one is composite, so that is also covered. Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much.